Hey, classmates, it's Deanna.
Hey guys, this is Brett. Welcome back to week 48 of Hard Lessons True Crime podcast.
Now we're pausing to take a drink.
Quite, quite refreshing Coke Zero with lime. Hey Teach,
Hi.
how was your week?
Not so.
Bet so.
Yeah.
It was only a 2-day work week,
For me, yes.
but it felt like a 50-day work week.
Yes. Should have been a 3-day work week, but
Sometimes you just gotta.
yeah. I had to come home Friday.
And what was the greatest thing about this week?
Grandbaby was in town.
The world's greatest granddaughter was here.
Yep.
So those are memories that we will always cherish.
Absolutely. They're the best.
Possibly a wild game of Wahoo going on this evening.
Yes, we better get prepared.
Because she is ruthless.
Yes, she is. She also cheats, but
I mean,
she's a kid.
I was going to say it's in the genes.
Well,
but
not either.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. What is this needless information that I'm going to not need to file away in my brain this week?
There may be sometime you're on Jeopardy and this actually comes up and you're going to be like, oh, I know this.
And then it's going to be timed and then I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, this week's More You Know just makes me more and more thankful every day that I was born into the era I was born in.
Okay.
The ancient Romans.
Wow.
Going back to yesteryear.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I can just, it was just like yesterday.
Did you know they had mouthwash?
No, I didn't know that.
They
Gross.
used
What is it? Oh.
stale urine as mouthwash in ancient Roman days.
Ew. And they were thinking this was beneficial for what?
I guess dirty old nasty pee-pee was a lot better than just walking around with what they had.
Well, what did they have?
Nothing.
They didn't brush their teeth, so they thought this would just kill anything out?
It just killed the germs.
Is there any recordings of people becoming sick or anything?
Well, I'm sure. None of them's around to tell us about recordings. I don't know.
They would write things down, hence why we know these things.
Right. I guess, nobody did survive the ancient Roman days to tell us that, back in my day, sonny.
That would be creepy.
It'd be a little bit. I think Doctor Who actually is the one that went back and reported.
Oh, okay.
In his time traveling TARDIS.
So really what you're saying is that you didn't look for that. That's all you found, or that was it?
I just saw this tidbit of information, was like, that's a more you know subject right there.
It really is.
Gross.
The more you know, the less you need. And now I'm curious to know what was the real purpose behind this. We need some investigating.
I've got all this information. I just got to get out of my head.
Yeah, but I want more detail about that.
Okay. More details. Stay tuned.
More detail about
Pee-pee wash. Pee-pee mouthwash.
Okay.
All right. Now,
did they take the stale pee-pee from the aristocrats or the higher up rich people, or were they just lowballing it and going for the cheaper the better?
One of our earlier more you knows was about where the saying not having a pot to piss in was coming from, how poorer folks would sell their urine to people that would take like animal hide and make leather and whatever. And so the poor folks that didn't have a pot to pee in
Okay.
That's where so maybe they got it from the poor folk.
Ooh. Okay.
Who knows? There was some wild times back in those days.
Wow. Okay. I'll move on.
Before we get started, a couple of little announcements. As we mentioned last week, Teach and I have been invited to be a part of Boomtown Comic Con coming up in March of 2025. So we are excited about that opportunity, the Aluminum Dome, Borger, Texas.
Yes.
We're going to be having, we're not going to have T-shirts, caps, things like that. They're at the Borger Dome with us at the Comic Con, just simply for the fact of we don't know how many to order, what sizes of each, but we are working with somebody local, and we're going to have sign-up sheets, and so you can get the right size, boom, 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 and get it out to you guys. So if you're in the area, or if you're not, springtime in the Texas Panhandle is magical. So make a little trip and come see us at the Aluminum Dome. Magical. It may be 80 degrees. It may be 20 degrees. Who knows?
That's right.
We may have tornadoes. We may have blizzards. So.
Or rain.
It's just a hodgepodge. Announcement number 2. If you noticed when I welcomed y'all in, I said, welcome to True Crime. Nope, I didn't. I said Hard Lessons True Crime Podcast. Dropped the paranormal. Still may do paranormal from time to time, but we are changing up and mainly sticking to true crime. It gets the most listens. And so, like with any business, if something sells, you're going to keep it. If it doesn't, kind of put it off to the back burner at the back of the store where nobody ever goes to. And so...
The clearance aisle?
The clearance aisle.
No, that's a busy place. Never mind, that's not it.
And so, our new topics that Teach will draw from every week will be true crime. And remember, true crime doesn't always have to be just murder. It's any criminal activity worth reporting on.
So,
yes.
If you're just doing true crime, why do I have to draw?
Because people like that aspect of it.
Like the different kinds of true crime?
So there's going to be true crime.
Okay.
The second one is going to be international. So that'll be something, true crime that went on beyond the borders of the United States.
Okay.
And then it's going to be, we're going to keep the host choice because that seems to be a listener favorite. And so then again, that could be anything from medical mystery, weird history, may throw in once in a while a paranormal story. We haven't done a whole lot of cryptids, but maybe the cryptid would fall in under that. It's just something that, because not all of true crime is happy-go-lucky stories, and every once in a while we kind of need a little bit of a lighter side.
Totally agree.
So that's going to be that. And with that, Teach, you got anything?
No.
No? Okay.
I never have nothing.
Email. Put Teach to work. Hard Lessons. TCP.
Ooh, we could flip the switch and you would have to grade me.
There you
on
go.
On their report, but it's how I deliver it.
On your delivery of their report. Yeah. Hit us up with your true crime stories, with your paranormal stories, anything that happened to you. Brett Bonke. Let us know. And we were going to start a new segment called Show and Tell. And like Teach said, we're going to flip the script. She's going to bring the story. So with that, you ready to get started on this week?
Yes. Class is in session.
All right, so this week is a host choice.
Sweet.
And for those that know me, know that I am a baseball fan.
Yes.
One of my favorite baseball players. I never saw him play. Saw him coach. Heard him on interviews. Thanks to ESPN, I did get to see him play. There's a show called ESPN Classics, and they'd show old baseball games from the 50s, 60s. But his name is Yogi Berra, not the picnic basket stealing bear from Jellystone Park.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a catcher for the New York Yankees. Like I said, I never saw him play. Other than being a really good baseball player, he was known for coming up with these phrases just on the spot. Some of his most famous: "It ain't over till it's over." "It's like deja vu all over again."
Okay.
"No one goes there nowadays. It's too crowded." If nobody's going there, how's it crowded? Just speaking of a restaurant or a bar. And probably his most famous: "A nickel ain't worth a dime anymore." So that got me to thinking. And with this week's being a host choice, how did some of our phrases that we use nowadays get started?
Some incredibly creative linguistic people.
Everything has to have a first, right?
Yes.
Everything gets started somewhere. If y'all remember from almost a year ago, we did an episode on Teach's family. Her ancestors was traced back to John Billington, the first man convicted of murder in the New Colony. So everything has a beginning. Somewhere, somebody in the annals of time was the first person to get a haircut. Somebody way back in the annals of time decided that...
The what of time?
Annals. Somewhere in the time continuum.
Okay.
Somebody...
I was thinking that's a funny word.
It's a funny word.
I just like... Sorry. The annals.
The annals. The
Like,
passageway of time.
That doesn't help me.
That's not helping at all. Somewhere in the time-space continuum, somebody decided that it was a good idea to have indoor plumbing, and thank God for that person, because it would not be pleasurable without that. And so today we're going to be discussing how some of the phrases that we use nowadays got started.
Okay.
During the 1800s Battle of Copenhagen, British naval hero Horatio Nelson's ships were up against a large Danish-Norwegian fleet. He had a more conservative superior officer that was flagging for him to withdraw.
Okay.
Sending up Horatio's on one ship, his senior officer's on another ship. He's sending up, hey, over here, look here, we need to withdraw. One thing about Captain Horatio Nelson is that he was blind in one eye. And so it is reported when other members of his boat saw this, they told him, hey, he's throwing up the flags that we need to surrender. So Horatio takes out his telescope, telescope, and he holds it up to his glass eye and then turns around and says, I really don't see the signal. Nelson went on to score a decisive victory and miraculously defeated the Norwegian fleet because he did not surrender.
So if he would have surrendered, it would have been bad.
It would have been bad. And today we may not have the term turn a blind eye to the situation.
Oh, that's good.
See where I'm coming with this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
A 14th century book called The Travels of Sir John Mandeville created a myth. These serpents slay men. This is a line from the book. These serpents slay men, eat them while weeping, and they have no tongues. So popular, in fact, that it found its way into the works of William Shakespeare. And ever since then, crocodile tears has been with us. The term crocodile tears. You're crying crocodile tears.
Because they're huge?
No, they were the serpents that he was talking about. They slay men while they weep. Crocodile tears. Crocodiles don't cry.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Because the men are crying?
No, the crocodile. The author was saying that the crocodiles were crying while they were eating the men.
Oh, okay. Thank you. This is why a lot of these, like, I don't know, they're going over my head.
I got you.
Because I'm like, what?
Yeah. Crocodiles don't cry. And
you know?
Science tells us they have no tear ducts.
You don't know, you're just guessing.
Also didn't know that they don't have tongues. No, I didn't look that up, but it's in this book, so it has to be true. They weren't allowed to line books back in the 1700s.
So crocodiles
14th
don't
century.
have a tongue either?
That's what this author wrote in the book. And they have no tongues.
Okay.
So, I don't know. That'd be something to ask Google. Okay. Or Siri. But not Alexa.
No.
Now we're going to fast forward from the 14th century all the way up to 1750 England.
Okay.
The British government had the authority to label any group of 12 or more a threat to the peace.
Okay.
You can't be
a group of 13
and be peacefully assembling.
Okay.
You're up to nefarious goods.
So, wouldn't that count as churches?
Well, you
would meet for a church?
They held. That's why there were so many churches built in that time. They could only have 11 members, and once they got to that 12th, they sent them to another church to get started.
Stop.
Okay, but it sounded good.
Sorta.
They took this law so serious that a public official would read a small portion of an act that was written, and the participants of 12 or more would then have an hour to disperse.
Okay.
Those that remained would be arrested, and hence the term reading the riot act was developed.
Oh. Okay. I still go back to, what if you're in church? Do they not think people could plot things in a church?
Well, I mean, there's ways around everything.
Okay.
In 1837, the Marquis of Waterford, a known prankster and lush, went out with a group of friends one night.
Oh, was there more than 13?
There was 6.
Okay, way under the limit.
We're
good, dude.
I mean, he is a marquis, so,
Yeah, he's above the law.
He's above the law. In this night of tomfoolery, they knocked over flower pots, pulled knockers off doors, and broke windows out of some buildings.
That's vandalism.
But he's a marquis, so he's okay.
That's vandalism.
To top it all off, the mob painted a toll gate and a bunch of doors and a swan statue red.
Okay. Is that where Paint the Town Red came from?
And hence we've had Paint the Town Red ever since.
Oh, I finally got one.
You go, girl.
Woo!
I'm so proud of you, Teach. Freemasons. So it's not like our son-in-law got arrested and we're going to Freemason. Freemasons, the centuries-old fraternal organization, known for values and fellowship, morality and mutual assistance. Also a bunch of secrets. The members undergo rigorous questioning and examinations before becoming a master mason or a third-degree mason.
Okay.
So now when you're giving somebody a heart examination, you're giving them
the third degree.
The third degree. You're 2 for 2.
Yay.
I'm so proud of you.
Isn't that what National Treasure people were chasing?
The Freemasons?
Mm-hmm. The treasure?
Yes, ma'am.
I connected the dots.
You did.
I made a connection between a text And a movie.
That's like superstar status right there.
I'm learning strategies, and I just did it.
I'm so proud of you. In early 1800s America,
Okay.
hunters would use dogs to hunt raccoons.
Oh.
The dogs would go to a tree that the raccoon was hiding in and bark to alert the hunter.
Yes.
Oftentimes, the dogs would be off by a tree or two, or the raccoon would sneak down the other side without the dog seeing it. Hence, we have the term. You want to try to guess? Go 3 for 3?
No.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, that makes sense, but I'm like, slide the raccoon? No, that does not sound appropriate, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Back in the day, countries receiving packages on ships.
Okay.
And it'd be in the middle of winter, so the water's kind of frozen over. They'd send smaller ships out before the arrival and create a path for them.
Oh, okay. So they're like breaking up the ice that was on the top. So is that the breaking ice? Or
Nowadays, in a socially awkward situation, you may take a friend with you to help break the ice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or the what do you call it? The buffer.
Yeah, the wingman.
Well, I was more looking for the divergent, like they are distracting other people.
So they don't know how nerdy I really am.
Oh, yep.
Recorded first in the early 1600s, many chiefs of Native American tribes would bury weapons when they would make peace with their enemies. So now, if you're in a conflict with somebody and y'all want to make peace, what do y'all do?
We agree to never speak to each other again and walk away.
You bury the hatchet.
Oh, there you go.
A little symbolism there.
Yes, I must not understand that very well. I just say, and walk away.
Count your losses.
Yeah.
Horse racing. Such a fun sport to watch. I've never participated in it. Last time I was on a horse, my mom and dad had to put a quarter in it to make it go outside the grocery store. But when a jockey had a large lead, it was said that he could relax and let go of the reins and still easily win. Now, when something is easy or without effort, we say it is
Easy?
hands down.
Oh.
Hands down, he can do that.
Oh. I'm not connecting any of these.
Yeah. Well, you've got two of them.
Because I'm like thinking, why would you let go?
Yeah, because he's so far ahead, he can win hands down.
Oh, of course, I'm picturing like a Titanic move where the horse is just running his arms are up in the air. Yeah, so, that doesn't make sense to me.
All right, well, let's try this one.
Okay.
Pop organs.
Okay.
Beautiful instruments.
Okay.
Do you know how they work?
Air.
Stops control which pops are allowed to make sounds.
Mm-hmm.
That was my pop organ imitation.
You did very well.
Thank you very much. If the musician wanted the organ to be as loud as possible and blow everything, they would take all of the stops out. So nowadays, if you're wanting to do something grand and big, this came from
pull out the stoppers?
Pull out all the stops.
Oh.
Well, they pulled out all the stops and went out big on this one.
Oh. Okay.
in the late 1800s, you're good. People making spontaneous speeches would stand on crates to get attention and blow their voices out, and they would use that as a platform.
Is that the soapbox?
Good. You got another one. They were on a soapbox.
I like it.
Now we're going to see what you know about flight. In aeronautics, the flight envelope is a term meaning the boundary or limit of the performance of the flight object. The envelope, in mathematical terms, is based on things like speed, thrust, and atmosphere. The pilot would push the plane to its limits to see how far it could go without damage. So now when you go as far as you can to push things, you are
pushing the limits.
Pushing the envelope.
Oh.
The flight envelope.
So
you're pushing the envelope.
Okay.
That son of ours, he's pushing the envelope of my patience.
Okay, now that makes more sense.
Yeah, so when you're pushing the limit, you're pushing the envelope. All right. Who doesn't love to go to the country fair or a carnival?
Lots of people don't like to go because of the people.
It's too peoply. However, I love to go. I don't love big crowds, but I like to go and people watch. Mm-hmm. I don't like to play the games because they're all rigged one way or the other. And you end up spending way more money than what the prize you win
is worth.
Nowadays, those games are catered towards the younger crowd. Stuffed animals, maybe a poster.
Goldfish that won't last.
Until you even get out of the parking lot. Mm-hmm. They'll be dead. In days gone by, that was not always the case. Prizes were geared towards the adult. The top prize always being a cigar. Mm-hmm. When you were close to winning, but did not, a term that we use nowadays became a favorite for the carny. Close, but no cigar.
Interesting.
Yeah. And one last one. Back in Shakespeare time, when they would put on a play that he had written, it was considered rude to clap for a performance.
Okay.
So what they would do is they would get in their chairs, pretty much like what we're sitting in right now, and would rock back and forth to where the legs would come off the ground, and they would use that knocking sound when it going back down as the clap.
Okay.
They would do it so hard that sometimes the leg would break. Hence, when somebody's in a movie, play, or whatever, we tell them, break a leg.
I thought that meant good luck.
It does. But, get the crowd clapping so loud, you do such a good job. Break a leg on the chair, back in the old days.
Oh, okay.
That's where break a leg came from.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So you really don't, because I always thought, man, that's weird. Because little known fact that not everybody knows about me, I took a year of tap dancing when I was like in the 3rd or 4th grade. I can't remember. I wanted to play football. My mom said you can't unless you do a year of dance first, and I was not going to do ballet. So I signed up for tap. And at the end of the year, they always have this big production. And I remember somebody, I don't know who, but I remember somebody telling me to break a leg. And I thought, well, that's weird. Why would you tell me that? I don't want to fall off the stage. So that's where that comes from.
Oh, okay. They were just meaning good luck.
They were meaning good luck. I was like, well, then just say good luck. I don't know. This is all new to me. So there's several more, but that's the ones that I wrote down. Save some for a later episode.
Okay.
And that is how some of our favorite sayings got started.
Interesting.
My bibliography this week is an article on goodhousekeeping.com. The real meaning behind the phrases you say. mentalfloss.com, The Curious Origins of 16 Common Phrases, concordia.edu, 9 Common Sayings and the History Behind Them, and history.com, 10 Common Sayings with Historical Origins. Now, of course, I didn't do like all 10 from there or all 9 from Concordia. Concordia.
Yeah.
Or all 16 from Mental Floss. So, like I said, there'll be another episode. This is a pretty interesting topic to me.
Cool.
So, and that is my report for this week.
Number 48.
That is number 48. So, Teach, how'd I do? Am I great?
Yes.
Well, you looked at me kind of confused.
No, remember, my facial expression doesn't always have something to do with the person. It could be the thoughts in my head.
That is very true.
So, quit taking things personally.
Yes, dear.
Well, it's not really something that caught my attention, but somebody out there probably is like, holy cow, I didn't know that. I can repeat that.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you a B.
Sounds good to me. That is above a D, if I remember my grading from school days. So.
Yes, it's passing.
I'll take it every day of the week.
There you go.
All right. So.
Oh, I got to draw.
Yeah. Stir up this pot.
All right. I chose international true crime.
International. Okay. Now then, I want to put this disclaimer out there, and I will probably do it again next week when we record. I may say some names wrong. I will do my best to look them up, the pronunciation.
Now, are you still doing the lesser known?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we should not expect Jack the Ripper.
No Jack the Ripper. Okay. He's been reported on
100 times.
100 million times. So.
And it's pretty much saying all the same things.
Pretty much.
Okay.
He started in Austin, Texas, by the way.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I think he did.
Okay.
So, alrighty. Well, remember Hard Lessons TCP@gmail.com. Put Teach to work. Hear more of her, less of me. The ratings will probably go through the roof. Share us with your friends. Write us a review. Help us get the podcast to grow. Whether it does, whether it don't, we're still going to do it because it's kind of fun. It
is. It's a lot of fun.
We like hanging out with y'all in our virtual classroom. Maybe one of these days we will go live and have a live. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to work that out. I don't know.
You can always use my classroom.
At the actual school?
At the actual school.
Not our dining room?
Not our dining room.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll be back next week with our first international. Episode 49, and we're finally breaking the borders.
Woo!
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Class is dismissed.